Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're opening up what is essentially the ultimate investigator's survival guide to the Irish rental market in 2026. Look, if you're hunting for a home in Ireland right now, you really need to know that this isn't your average market anymore. It's highly sophisticated, and it's heavily driven by AI. But hey, don't worry. We're going to arm you with a veritable detective's playbook to navigate the whole shebang safely.
90 to 180 days. That right there is what experts call the pre-arrival vulnerability window. Imagine you're an international student trying to find a home from literally 5,000 kilometers away. This exact time frame, those months before you even step foot in Ireland, is when you're the biggest target for scammers. You can't physically view properties, and honestly, you're probably under immense pressure. The scammers, they know this, and they exploit it flawlessly.
Okay, let's dive into this and lay out the agenda. We are going to arm you with the exact tools to secure legitimate housing safely. First, we'll look at the 2026 rental threat. Then, we'll be unmasking the 3 specific scams out there. After that, we'll cover essential verification tools, absolute safe payment rules, and finally, the no-risk arrival strategy.
All right, Section 1, the 2026 rental threat. To defeat the enemy, we first have to understand the battlefield.
So here's the deal. We've got a severe structural housing shortage in cities like Dublin, Cork, and Galway, and it is violently colliding with a massive wave of AI-powered fraud. Scammers are using advanced AI tools to generate absolutely flawless, indistinguishable room photos and really professional-looking lease agreements. Turns out, AI is actually a terrible landlord. They use these incredibly convincing, fabricated visuals to pressure you into paying a deposit immediately, usually telling you that someone else is about to snap up this perfect spot.
Moving on to Section 2, unmasking the 3 scams. Now, what's really interesting about this is how we can categorize the enemy's tactics.
Basically, you're facing 3 main types of scams. First up is the ghost listing. This is where the property simply doesn't exist. The photos are totally AI-generated or stolen. You can defeat this one pretty easily with a quick reverse image search and by validating the error code on Google Maps. Second is the shadow sublet. Now, the property is actually real here, but the person advertising it, they have absolutely no legal right to sublet it. A quick land registry check exposes them right away. Finally, we've got the deposit first trap, where they demand money before you even view the place. To beat this, you need official registry verification and a live video walkthrough.
Listen, knowing realistic market numbers is your absolute best weapon. Think about it like this. If a shared room in Dublin realistically runs you between 900 and 1,500 euros, and you see something popping up for below 700, no way, it's a trap. Same goes for Cork or Galway. Anything below 480 euros for a shared room is a massive, massive warning sign. The absolute crucial point here is that a listing price 25% or more below realistic market ranges isn't just a lucky bargain. It is almost certainly a scam designed to create artificial urgency. Memorize these ranges, for sure.
And this brilliantly illustrates the massive difference between a legitimate lease and an AI-generated fake. A real Irish tenancy agreement is actually legally compliant. It has a Residential Tenancies Board, or RTB number, the landlord's full legal name, and a minimum 28-day notice period. But an AI fake? Sure, it might look perfectly formatted, but it totally fails the legal test. It might list commercial addresses, give illegal 7-day eviction notices, or add completely bizarre as-is possession clauses. AI can mimic the look, but it just cannot grasp basic housing laws.
Okay, Section 3, Essential Verification Tools. This is where we officially open up that detective's playbook and learn how to really actively interrogate a listing and its landlord.
All right, these are your 3 non-negotiable steps. Step 1, check the rtb.ie register. This confirms the tenancy is legally registered. Step 2, use landdirect.ie to confirm the actual legal owner of the property. And Step 3, demand a live video walkthrough. And I mean genuinely live. Ask them to open a specific cupboard or show you the exact view out the window. Someone who doesn't actually have access to the property literally cannot fake this. Plus, if the supposed landlord pulls the classic, "Oh, I'm out of the country on a business trip" line, well, that's basically scammer code for "I don't actually own this building." These 3 steps together take under 30 minutes, and they will eliminate the vast majority of scams out there. Now, if you only remember one active tactic from our explainer today, absolutely make it the 5-minute rule. Here it is. Before you spend more than 5 minutes looking at a listing, chatting with a so-called landlord, or, dreaming about putting your furniture in there, check its error code on Google Maps. If that code doesn't resolve to a matching physical residential address, stop immediately. Just don't proceed. This simple little heuristic can defeat a ghost listing in under 60 seconds. It's a real game changer. So, we need to talk about shadow sublets in particular, because honestly, these can cause immense emotional devastation. The property is real, so the scammer can actually show it to you, but they have absolutely no legal right to rent it out to you. So what are the red flags? Well, they're evasive about showing their own lease documents. They can't answer super basic building management questions like how the refuse collection works or where the fuse box is. They're super reluctant to let you run a land registry check, and they'll usually hesitate if you ask point blank if they're the registered tenant. See these signs? Walk away immediately. Right, Section 4, Safe Payment Rules. Let's shift focus to your absolute ironclad rules of engagement for protecting your money. 2 months. That is the absolute maximum upfront cost you should ever pay. Let me break that down. That covers 1 month for the deposit, which aligns directly with official RTB guidance, by the way, and 1 month for your first month's rent in advance. If a landlord is pushing you for 3, 4, or 6 months up front to somehow secure the place, yeah, you are looking at a giant red flag. Okay, I need to be extremely authoritative here for a second, because this is where permanent financial damage happens. You must only ever use a traceable Irish bank transfer. Get a written, signed receipt immediately. Always, always have a signed lease before any deposit is handed over. Scammers absolutely love cryptocurrency, PayPal friends and family, and gift cards, because that money vanishes instantly. Never use them. And never wire money to an unverified Irish recipient. Breaking any of these rules is basically stepping right into a guaranteed trap. But hey, what if you slip up? What if you were targeted? Well, here is your emergency protocol. Step 1, call your bank within 24 hours. Acting within this incredibly tight window is literally the only way you might potentially reverse a fraudulent bank transfer. Step 2, report the crime to Gardaí, the Irish police. Step 3, report the listing on the platform you found it on so you can protect other students. Step 4, contact Thresholds, the national housing charity, for some guidance. Time is your absolute enemy here, folks, so you have to act immediately if you suspect fraud. All right, let's move to Section 5 and see how this builds our master plan, the no-risk arrival strategy. Let's pose this really pivotal question right up front. Is it safe to pay a deposit before arriving in Ireland? The answer is a definitive, resounding no. Paying an unverified party before you even land in the country is the primary trap. It is literally the #1 way international students lose their money in the Irish rental market. If there is one golden rule to take away from our explainer today, it's this. The single most effective defense against rental scams is not to commit to long-term accommodation before you arrive in Ireland. Instead of feeling incredibly anxious about finding a place from 5,000 kilometers away, I want you to feel totally empowered by taking that deadline pressure completely off the table. So how do you actually do that? Through the temporary first strategy. Just book 2 to 4 weeks of verified short-term accommodation. Think a university short stay, a reputable hostel, or a verified Airbnb. Sure, it might cost 400 to 700 euros up front. But to put that into perspective, spending that on temporary housing is far, far cheaper than losing thousands to a sophisticated AI scam. Plus, it gives you the physical and emotional breathing room to arrive, view properties in person, verify them properly, and then sign a lease safely. Well, we've covered a lot of really crucial ground today, right? From unmasking those sneaky AI-generated fakes to employing the 5-minute R code rule and finally executing that temporary first strategy. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Now that you have the complete detective's playbook, how will you approach your housing search to outsmart the scammers? I really hope you use these tools actively, stay vigilant out there, and confidently secure your new home in Ireland. Thanks for learning with me today.